What's up guys, Tearless here with the second part of the Legion class guides looking at Outlaw Rogues. In this section I'm going to be looking at the main talents for the Outlaw Rogue in addition to the PvP talents for the Outlaw Rogue. Now if you don't know, and if that's a little confusing to you, basically Blizzard has made a PvP talent tree and then there's the regular talent tree. So it's not that the PvP talent tree is replacing glyphs. Glyphs are kind of just being tossed out altogether. There are still minor glyphs that you can get for the classes, so the cool cosmetic things that you could get from the glyph system are still going to be in-game, and inscriptions can still use that. But the PvP talent system is more of a way, it's more of a revamp of the PvP system, and it's a way for Blizzard to kind of balance PvP a little bit better. Now, most of the outlaw talent tree has changed significantly. So I'm just going to go through and take a look at everything, and towards the end we'll jump into the combat arena there for the rogues. I'm going to wait till the end to do that because it's kind of noisy in there, and I will show you what several of these abilities look like. So the first tier is completely different. We have 3 abilities. A lot of talents in both trees, more so in the PvP than in the regular, are passives, but there are a lot of actual abilities in these trees to, compensate. So the first one here is going to be Ghostly Strike. It 30 energy, and it strikes an enemy with your cursed weapon, dealing 41,000 physical damage and causing the target to take 10% increased damage from your abilities for 15 seconds. So basically this is an upkeep. I'm not a big fan of upkeep. Don't really like it. The only reason it's selected is because it's an actual ability, whereas I believe the other 2 are passives. The second one here is Swordmaster. Saber Slash, which is kind of your new default, it's your new default combo point generator. Saber Slash has a 15% increased chance to strike an additional time. If you remember on Saber Slash from the last video, it is a 35% chance to strike an additional time. Well, now it's an increased 15% chance, so it's a 50% chance. I'm more likely to take that than I am Ghostly Strike. The last ability in this tree is going to be Quick Draw. Free uses of Pistol Shot granted by Saber Slash now generate 1 additional combo point and deal 50% increased damage. So when you're an Outlaw Rogue, you're going to be using Saber Slash and Pistol Shot, kind of combined with each other to build your combo points. That's going to be your main kind of, trade-off. You're going to be trading off between the 2 to build your combo points. Mostly using Saber Slash, but when you get those free Pistol Shots, you'll switch over to Pistol Shot and use it. And so, that just kind of allows you to generate a lot more with Pistol Shot. The next tier is kind of the gap closer tier a little bit. The first is Grappling Hook, which you launch a grappling hook and pull yourself to the target destination, which is pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and show it to you right here. It's really far in how far the range is. Now, it's very much like Heroic Leap, in which it has difficulty on hills and so forth, so that's, if you haven't played a Warriors, you'll understand the frustration with this. It's the same. Now, also know that Blizzard has changed the targeting reticle, and this works with Heroic Leap as well, that you can only go as far as, the range will let you. It won't let you go beyond that. It's not going to be like you can't go that far. It's just saying, hey, you can only go this far. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. And you'll see, it's a nice gap closer for Rogue. The second ability here is Acrobatic Strikes. Increases the range on all of your melee attacks by 3 yards. So that kind of plays into Outlaw Rogue in that they already have Pistol Shot and Blunderbuss, between the eyes, in which they already have increased range. Well, this gives you even more range leeway, with your other abilities. And then the last one is Hit and Run. Increases your movement speed at all times by 15%. So if you don't like the gap closer in Grappling Hook, which I just played it in PvP, it's not the greatest. Hit and Run may be more of your thing, being able to just constantly keep that movement speed up. The next tier is, the first one here is going to be Deeper Stratagem. You may have a maximum of 6 combo points, and your finishing moves can consume up to 6 combo points, and your finishing moves deal 20% increased damage. That kind of reminds me of what they did with Paladins, in that they increased the combo points. However, with Paladins, Ret Pally specifically, you can only consume a certain amount, whereas this, they're saying you can consume all 6, and it will build up, a little bit further. So I'll go ahead and I'll use that one in there so you can see what it actually looks like, but we'll wait for that when we actually go into the combat room. Anticipation, you may have a maximum of 8 combo points. Finishers still consume a maximum of 5 combo points. So this one's a little bit different. These are all kind of playing off of your energy and your combo points. So this is more like Paladins, in which you can have a ton of combo points, but you can have only 5 at a time. This is, for crazy burst potential. So, whereas this one's a little bit more sustained, this one will have more burst potential. So this is going to be something that I see more PvP players gravitating towards. And Vigor is more sustained as well, increases your maximum energy by 50 and your energy regeneration by 10%. So we'll try both of these when we get in there so you can see what it's like. There's Iron Stomach. This is the next tier. Increases the healing you receive from Crimson Vial, healing potions, and health stones by 30%. So great survivability there. This is the survivability tree. As you notice, Elusiveness and Cheat Death are in this tree. They were in the same 45 tree earlier. Now they're in the 60 tree. Elusiveness has not changed. Feint also reduces all damage you take from non-area of effect attacks by 30% for 5 seconds, and Cheat Death fatal attacks instead reduce you to 7% of your maximum health for 3 seconds afterwards. You take 85% reduced damage, cannot trigger more often than once per 2 minutes. So, the next tree is going to be a little bit different. The first is Parlay. This is a strictly PvE ability. Even though this is the PvE tree, it affects both, but there are some PvE only specific talents. There's no way a PvPer would take this because it replaces Blind, and you need Blind in PvP. Parlay will not work on other players. So it pacifies a target in combat who is forced to negotiate instead of fighting for 5 minutes. This is a little bit of a change. So this gives Outlaw Rogues a CC in combat pretty quickly. So it's something that's very useful for them to have in a PvE environment, but it's something you'll never see in PvP. I see most PvP players taking this one, which is Prey on the Weak. Enemies disabled with your Blind, Gouge, Cheap Shot, or Sap take 10% increased damage from all sources. That's the same as it was on live. Same thing with Dirty Tricks. It does Dirty Ticks. Dirty Tricks, Gouge, Blind, Cheap Shot, and Sap no longer cost energy. In the last tier, the 90 tier, we have Cannonball Barrage. And I'm going to go ahead and show this to you now just so we can see what it looks like. Command a ghost ship crew to barrage the target area with cannonballs, doing basically 100,000 damage over 1.8 seconds and slowing enemies by 50% for 1.5 seconds. It's a minute cooldown. Pretty large area effect. I'll go ahead and use it here. And you'll see it's just a cannon barrage. Pretty cool. Your second is Alacrity. Your finishing moves have a 20% chance per combo point to grant 1% haste for 20 seconds, stacking up to 25 times. So, if you can really get those finishing moves off, especially if you're going to use your artifact cooldown, which allows your pistol shot and your saber slash to build up combo points extremely quickly, you can end up having a lot of haste. And then on top of that, you put the haste from Roll the Bones, and then you're hitting an it's absurdly quick. Then here's Killing Spree. Killing Spree is back, but it is a talent. You have to talent into it. Honestly, I find Cannonball Barrage kind of underwhelming, so I can see people taking Killing Spree. This has a little bit different animation, or I should say cleaner animation. So I'm going to go ahead and activate this so you'll see it when we go in there. But it essentially is the same as it is on live. On this last tree, we have Marked for Death first, which is the same as it is on live. And then you have Death from Above, which is close to the same, but it has to kind of adapt to being Outlaw. A finishing move that empowers your weapons with shadow energy and performs a devastating 2-part attack. You whirl around, dealing 56,000 damage to all enemies within 8 yards. Then leap into the air and run through your target on the way back down, which such force that it does 50% a stronger effect. Now remember, run through is kind of the basic, your base. It's the replacement for eviscerate. So in the old talent tree, eviscerate was the one that was buffed, I believe. Now it's going to be run through. Run through is your main melee combo finisher for a outlaw rogue, excuse me. And then the last one here is slice and dice. We will go ahead and use this just so we can see what it looks like, see if it's changed at all. I don't think it's changed too much, but it is a finishing move that consumes combo points to increase attack speed by 100%, lasts longer per combo point. So let's go ahead and grab Deeper Stratagem so you can see the 6 combo points. You can already see them up there in the top left-hand corner. I have more combo points. Let's go ahead and head over here and build up our combo points on these training dummies. So you can see. Now, once again, as this is, you can consume all 6. You get a stronger buff. Now, I believe, and it even shows you now what the 6-point buff is. So 200,000. Slice and dice is now 42 seconds. Let's see, between the eyes is now 142,000 damage. So it's a big difference. So we'll go ahead and build this up. And then we'll go ahead and slice and dice. See how different it is. Not too much. We got someone spamming Banditizing, favorite rogue pastime. And then I'll go ahead and back out so that we can switch to anticipation, so you can see what it looks like. So 8 combo points. It doesn't show up there. Okay, there it is. It's very difficult to see, but if you look at the top left-hand corner, the combo points that are not going to be used are little microscopic orbs in that top left-hand corner. And as I use it here, you'll see it just replaces them. And then they will fill up again as we go. So that's more like Paladin, and I actually kind of like that. Personally, if I was playing a rogue, that's probably something I would do. I had it on Vigor at the time because I hate running out of energy, but that would also be something that I would consider. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Ghost Strike, the ability that increases your damage. It's a management ability. You have to be in close range for it to work. A lot of damage and a damage buff. That's basically it. And then the last one is the upgraded Killing Spree. It looks more fluid, I should say. Maybe it's been a while since I've seen Killing Spree on live. My rogue is not high enough on live for me to see what Killing Spree looks like again, but it's a little bit more fluid from what I remember. So that is all of the major talents for the PvE talent tree. Now, I could take a look. Let's see if we have any difference in Parlay here. I don't think we can use it on the training dummy. No, we can't. Okay. But I'm sure Parlay has something different for its effect than what normal blind would be. Now, honor talents I can't really show, but it does kind of most of them are passives as opposed to being in the normal talent tree where you have a lot of different abilities that you can put into. So this is pretty standard across all classes and specs, is that this first tier is you have Gladiator's Medallion, which reduces your honorable medallion, and I've been trying to search for this honorable medallion, but supposedly it is a base medallion that everyone gets just from going into PvP, and it's a 3-minute cooldown. So Gladiator's Medallion reduces it down to 2. Humans, every man for himself is gone, so this has changed. You can now use this as your first ability. Now know that to build this up, it works like Call of Duty prestiging. You have to level all the way to 50, and then you can prestige and lose all your talents, and these are gained as you go down the line here, and then you go down this line, and then you go down this line. So like you'll get this at 1, and then 4, and then 7, and it kind of builds up all the way to 50. So you kind of have to sit there at the max level and decide whether or not you want to prestige and lose everything and start back at square one, or you want to keep going. I'm one of the people who probably will just stop at 50 and forget it. But for your first tier, you have the Gladiator's Medallion. Your second one is Adaptation. All loss of control effects with a duration of 5 seconds or more will activate your Honorable Medallion spell, but only causes it to incur a 60-second cooldown. So that's kind of a trade-off there. You know, you don't have as much control, but you still have the Honorable Medallion, so you kind of have two there. Um, you know, they're giving you some interesting choices here. And then there's Relentless. It replaces the Honorable Medallion, and the duration of incoming crowd control effects are reduced by 25%. On the second line, you have Hardiness. While above 80% health, you take 20% less damage. You have Reinforced Armor, health increased by 10%, and then you have Sparring. Physical melee attacks have a 20% chance to be blunted, dealing 50% reduced damage. Base strict defensive tier. This is more of a speed tier. Maneuverability. Sprint suppresses all movement impairing effects for 4 seconds when used. Boarding Party, Between the Eyes, which is going to be your finisher down here, your new finisher. Increases the movement speed of all friendly players within 10 yards by 30% for 5 seconds. And then the last one is Cut to the Chase. If nearby enemies within 10 yards move faster than you at any given time, you match their movement speed and exceed it by 5% for 3 seconds. I have had crazy fun with this. In the one battleground that I played with this, I had crazy fun with this. I had a hunter use his aspect of the cheetah, which increases his speed by 90%, and he could not get away from me. I just chased him down and literally cut him to pieces. It was a lot of fun. And then I'm unsure if this is true or not, but prop pallets have a spell where they get mounted. And I believe someone popped that in the middle when I was really close, and I moved so fast. I was blazing across the screen. It was so much fun. I didn't know what to do with how much speed I had. But this is something that's a lot of fun and people may want to take. In this fourth tier, we have Turn the Tables. After coming out of a stun, your damage is increased by 15% for 6 seconds. You have Honor Among Thieves, which I believe is somewhat close to the way it was, which is critical hits in combat by allies within 15 yards grant you a combo point, but no more often than once every 2 seconds. The third one is Thick as Thieves, and your Tricks of the Trade now increases you and the friendly target's damage by 15% for 6 seconds. So it's a quick buff. Like if you're, two-manning, going around sniping people, especially if you're rogues, or maybe like a rogue and a feral druid or something, you just pop this on yourself before you take someone down, and you can really do a lot of damage. On the fifth tier, you have Take Your Cut. Roll of the Bones grants allies within 8 yards 15% haste for 8 seconds while cast. So not only will it buff you, but then, it will give you the buffs that you normally get, and then it'll buff your allies as well. The next one is Control is King. When enemies within 40 yards of you are stunned, silenced, polymorphed, you gain 5 seconds of Adrenaline Rush. Just a refresher on Adrenaline Rush, increase your energy regeneration rate by 100% and your attack speed by 20%. I think that's awesome to have. And the only reason I don't have it is because I was testing out Drink Up Me Hearties. And your Crimson Vial becomes kind of a cast time. So you create Crimson Vials and you can share it with allies. A maximum of 3 can be carried at once. So as you can see, I have it down here, but I don't think... Okay, I can use it. Technically, you're not supposed to be able to use any of these abilities outside of PvP. That's why I can't really show you unless I were to go into a PvP match. And then inside the PvP match, it would be kind of hard to show you when it's doing. So it's thankful that most of these are mostly passives. I mean, we haven't really encountered a true ability in this tree. The only one I believe is at the very end, which is this last tree, this last tier, which is Cheap Tricks. After coming out of Parlay, the target's chance to miss attacks is increased by 70% for 5 seconds. Between the Eyes reduces energy cost of your pistol shot by 100% for 5 seconds. So I may be completely wrong about this talent Parlay because it says it only works on humanoids, demons, dragonkin. I was under the impression that it did not work on regular players. It only worked on NPC humanoids, but I could be wrong. And if that's the case, then this becomes pretty useful. and it may be something that players may want to pick up and use in PvP. Now another thing that'll be replacing your blind is dismantle. Everyone knows dismantle. It's pretty powerful, but it will replace your blind. 45-second cooldown, 25 energy, disarm the enemy, preventing any use of weapons or shield for 8 seconds. Definitely a great solo kind of combat there. The last one is Plunder Armor, and this one's kind of funny. You steal and equip the target's armor, reduce their damage dealt by 20%, and maximum health by 20%, and increases yours by the same amount. Lasts for 10 seconds. I stole the armor of a dwarf in a battleground, and I became a dwarf. It was pretty cool. So that is all the talents, both inside and outside of PvP. I'm liking it. They did a really good job of playing into the play style of a outlaw rogue, now an outlaw rogue. I will tell you that this Cut to the Chase talent can be a lot of fun, because especially if a prop pally, pops his mount, which I'm assuming is what made me move so fast in the battleground. I mean, you're going to be zipping all over the place. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. With this video and the other ability videos, that is everything for the new Outlaw Rogue spec in the game. I will be going into other videos next, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Otherwise, I will see you guys later. Tearless out.